So today I'm going to actually make a veggie pasta with lots and lots of vegetables. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the first part with the vegetables, how I get it going. And here we go. So I have some onions here, some fresh cut up asparagus, some mushrooms, some peas, fresh garlic, and I have Italian seasoning, which is so good. It has like, it tastes really, really good. And of course, salt and pepper. I'm not going to make extra pasta, just follow your directions for the pasta. But I have my oil warming, so I'm going to put the onions in to get them going. And I just scrape this out a little bit. Turn it up a little bit because I had the oil a little low. I'm going to add, I actually sliced the garlic today because I actually like to see sliced garlic in pasta for some reason. I didn't chop it. I'm just going to put them slices of garlic. Get that going.
Looks good.
Okay. All right, so then I'm going to add the mushrooms. The mushrooms add a little bit of water, so I'm going to get them going early, just so you can get an idea. You can smell the onion and the garlic. It smells so good. I'm going to chop the mushrooms. See, you can chop your mushrooms or you can slice them. I've chose to slice them. I like to see them in pasta. If you don't like mushrooms, you can use anything. A vegetable pasta, you can use broccoli, asparagus, anything you want. Right. That's the mushrooms done. Then I'm going to chuck the asparagus in. Not chuck, but put. Okay, so we've got to get that going a little bit. That needs a couple of minutes. Yeah, right. They only are different colors. Now, pasta, you should really, really use whole wheat pasta. I actually had white on me, so I've used white today. But if you can change anything, please try and change your pasta into a whole wheat pasta. You can even do half and half, you know, if you're not used to it. And I promise you, you will get used to it. Now, JP mentioned I actually forgot to buy white beans for this recipe, but for a protein, you can actually add a can of like white butter beans or small white beans, you know, what go really nice in the pasta. Or you can, if you do eat meat, you can add a chicken. Make sure it's cooked if you want to roast the chicken or something. So I'm going to put some salt and pepper. I have my salt and pepper mixed already. And some Italian seasoning.
I love it because it has like the oregano, the basil, the thyme. So it's a really, and actually it has a lot of nutrients, antioxidants in it, believe it or not. It is salt free. So it's a great option to season things and add more nutrients to it.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna, once this is like browned up a little bit, I'm gonna actually add vegetable broth to it. I actually have the vegetable broth ready, but it's not quite ready. I don't want to do it too early. I want to get rid of that like water in the mushrooms and that first, but I'm going to add the peas. Add the peas, the mushrooms, and we're going to let that get going. I'll let that cook for a few minutes, and then I'll come back to it just so it gets nice and sauteed. Clear that up. Now I'm going to show you exactly what we did is I have one made here ready. So I have the vegetable pasta here made. I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese. I've also got a little lemon zest on there. And I'm just going to put some parm on the top. You see, add that. A couple of bits of fresh parsley. Just put that. And then let's squirt a lemon. And there is your pasta.
Oh, that looks so good. And you put lemon zest and lemon, right? Yeah.
Yep, lemon zest and lemon. I already put the lemon zest, but you have, see, I just did with the lemon, and then with the leftover lemons.
It's really amazing how you have a lot of like flavor with the lemon zest, so always use it.
Yeah, it gives it a lot of kick, the lemon zest. You're 100% right. Now, last week I mentioned about the apple cider. I know Thanksgiving's coming. I didn't do a water of the week. I've actually did a drink of the week, but I watered apple cider down a lot. But what I did, I grated lots and lots of ginger in there. I added some cinnamon. You can see like all the ginger's grated here. And it is so delicious, this drink. You can have it hot or cold. I actually like it hot, and ginger's really good for you as well. So just keep that in mind. You can see that?
Oh yeah, that looks great.
So you have the nice hot ginger, like nice hot ginger tea. I just broke it down. You don't even have to do it with apple cider. If you grate ginger in water, I've done it a lot with the women at work, especially the trainees. They've seen me do it. You know, we grate the water down, we boil it to all the flavor of the ginger, and at the end we squeeze lemon, and then we add some honey, and it's so good for you. And it's something else to drink rather than sodas and things like that, and it's nice in the evening. All right, so
I hope you like that delicious pasta. It looks amazing. Great for lunch, great for dinner. So I'm gonna do a little breakfast tacos, a version of a healthy breakfast tacos. This could be a breakfast, but it could be also dinner or even lunch. So it doesn't matter. I wanted to show you a couple of the things we have here. I'm already heating my pan, but I'm gonna use the delicata squash. You remember you cut it like that, then you scoop out with seeds this out, and then you end up coming like this, and then you dice it. I've done it here, already diced it. I want to just put it in there to start cooking. So right in my pan, which is already hot, I'm going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil. Always measure your olive oil or any oil. The less, the better. And actually, I'll show you a couple of also other tricks that you can do if you don't want to use the oil. But anyway, so here's my oil in there, and I'm going to put directly, so you can see it there, it's getting nice and hot. So I already diced some of the delicata squash here. And I have a red onion there. So I want to start getting the onion in. You can hear that little sizzle. That's great temperature. It can be white onion. Doesn't have to be red. I just happen to have it. And directly, I'm going to go and add my diced delicata. Remember the delicata, you do not peel. You just take out the seed from the inside. And it's really nice and sweet. Other options you can do is sweet potato. That I wouldn't peel either. Just scrub it well. And then you can also do butternut squash, for example. But that one you do have to peel. It's a little too hard. So cut it into strips like this. And then you can just go like that and dice it. The other things I'm going to add are, I have a portobello mushroom. I just happen to have it. So I guess today we have mushrooms in both dishes. Mushrooms are really good for you in terms of phytochemicals against cancer, and also have vitamin D. So I always say, I hope you like mushrooms, or try to make to use them more often. You have to cook them a little bit. We're gonna add them, but right now we're sauteing our delicata squash. So remember, I put up not even a tablespoon of olive oil. I am going to dice the mushroom, the portobello. Remember, I scooped it. I showed you when we did the stuffed portobellos. We scooped these ones from the inside and remove the big stem. And then we're gonna quick dice. And put it right in our pan as it cooks. Obviously, the mushrooms are gonna sweat. All this liquid is gonna concentrate flavors in there. So now if it starts getting a little dry, you can stir with a wooden spoon. Always wooden spoon. I don't like metal on metal. ever, even non-stick or stick. Sticks might use plastic or wooden spoon, but I prefer wooden spoon. Um, Now, if it starts getting a little dry, rather than adding more oil, I have a little vegetable broth. So a little goes a long way. It provides moisture. You're going to add, and you're not going to be adding a lot of fat calories in it. So we'll continue cooking that. Now I want to see you what the main ingredient in this one is. So instead of the breakfast tacos that traditionally will be done with a, like say eggs, we're gonna have tofu. This is a firm tofu, extra firm. The firmer you get it, the better. So they see how it kind of like, so what we're gonna do is crumble it. Just use your fingers, crumble it like this. I like this dish because it's really like a mock of a type of scrambled eggs, but it's without the eggs. Last week we showed you how to poach eggs, which is good, but I also like to have other alternatives. Meanwhile, as I crumble this, I just do want to tell you, there's a lot of misconceptions on soy. I've heard, and probably you've seen it in a magazine. Don't believe things in magazines. They tend to be very, or like reading it from Facebook or reading it from the internet. If it's not a reputable source, it's probably not well fact checked. Sadly, this is the world in where we live. So anyway, probably you've heard it that soy, you shouldn't eat tofu because soy creates breast cancer and problems with hormones with women. That is not the case. Soy have like a version of it's called phytoestrogens, and people read estrogens and start thinking the estrogen hormones for women that can create problems. That is a different kind of hormone. It is not the same. Phytoestrogens in this case actually are they actually starve cancer cells from growing. They starve them from eating. So I'm going to be putting my crumbled tofu in there. They actually starve the cells from eating. I'm going to put it directly in this pan. And also the other thing is may protect they may lower your cholesterol, for example, inhibit tumor growth from cancer cells, and it also protects from your blood vessels for like blood circulation. So all those things are good from soy, but the only thing I say is soy like edamame. Let me just cut this. Let me rinse my hand. Like edamame, tofu. Another version of tofu that is also good. I don't know if you've seen it. I have it here. It's called tempeh. Comes in these little packages. It's a little different than soy. It's similar, but it looks like this in the packages, but it has a little bit, actually this is fermented soy. It is not funky in taste, but it's nice and earthy. I like it. You can crumble it and do exactly the same. So these are good options of soy. Now, what you do not want is the really processed stuff. But when you start seeing soy chips, soy milk powders, soy bars, protein bars, that's when we go with problems because that is a very concentrated source that has been really processed. So just so you know, avoid that. Okay, so here's I'm gonna put a little bit more of the veggie stock and continue cooking. You can cover this for a little bit. The only thing you want to know here, tofu doesn't really need to be cooked for much, really. Sometimes I just dice it and put it on my salads. But what you do want is the delicata to be soft. That's when you know it's cooked, just like butternut squash or other kind of pumpkin. So we're gonna wait. And here's another part that we're gonna use. This is turmeric, ground turmeric. So this is great great for antioxidants and for inflammation. Just about not even a teaspoon. It's just a little bit. That actually, it's not going to provide a lot of flavor. What it's actually going to provide is that little bit of the color in scrambled eggs. So you'll see as we mix it and it sweats down. While this cooks, you start seeing it almost starts really looking like scrambled eggs. So how are we going to serve this? Well, of course, we're going to serve it with two things. Let me put this other pan on. I'm gonna make the quickest, quickest salsa for this. You can't have breakfast tacos without salsa. I have some diced, these are small tomatoes, all multicolor ones. So I'm just gonna put them right there. And then I have my pepper, jalapeno pepper. If you think you don't like too much spice, you can leave it out or put just a bell pepper, like a green bell pepper. I was gonna put it in here. We might not have the time, but it's fine. You can add peppers into your egg, different colors. I removed the inner parts of the jalapeno. Those are the spiciest parts. I also make sure to wash your hands right after you remove these parts because they're really spicy. You like it spicy, leave it on, and it'll definitely give you a pretty good kick, but that may turn out to be too spicy. But you know you, so depends. And so this is a good, nice, large chili. You can also use the smaller chilies, but you know, the rule of thumb is the smaller the chili, the spicier it's going to be. So anyway, go ahead and dice into small pieces. I'm gonna put it in with our tomatoes. If you have other kind of salsas there, you can do that too. If you made ones that like cooked salsas or even a store-bought, it's fine. But I wanted to show you quickly the pico de gallo salsa. Of course, I have cilantro. And when I have these, let me just show that cooks. You can see it there. You can see how now it really looks like like eggs, like just scrambled eggs. It's getting a little dry. Lower the heat, add a little stock while you finish the salsa. And in this pan, I'm already heating up. I have corn tortillas. Just corn tortillas. I always prefer corn tortillas than flour tortillas. They're definitely more nutritious, have more fibers as well. So just in a pan, I'm gonna start heating them up. Meanwhile, I'm gonna cut my cilantro. I love cilantro. If you do not like cilantro, and there are people that just hate it, you can just leave it out. And I use everything for the cilantro. I use the stems and the leaves. Actually, the stems and the leaves can be a little bit cooling. If the salsa is too spicy, you can use them as coolants. And a lot of places, that's part of the reason why the cilantro helps balance the flavors. I have little scallions, so I'm gonna also add them in my salsa. I'm gonna put a little bit of these in the salsa and a little bit of them in the eggs. Also, it'd be nice. And you know, the green part, you don't really need to cook them much, and it provides a little nice color. And then a lemon. If you have a lime, use a lime, but I have a lemon. I'm gonna put the lemon in my salsa, just like that. Always use a strainer. You don't want the seeds in it. And oh, I was gonna, before I forget, in my egg, a handful of spinach. That's another easy way, way too easy way to add more nutrients in the eggs, just like that. And see, they're just gonna wilt as it finishes cooking. Okay. Now, we didn't season it. A little bit of salt here, a little bit of salt in my salsa, a little bit of pepper in both. In the salsa and while that wilts, I have my tortillas. See how it just takes no time? And you just suddenly added really extra nutrients by adding the spinach. You can do arugula, you can do really any greens, but try adding greens in every meal. So why not in this one, this savory breakfast? So here's my salsa, just toss it like that. You can use red onion in this one too, it doesn't matter. So it's like you get nice color. So now ready to serve. So what we're gonna do is,
that salsa looks beautiful. I love the colors.
I know, because it has the yellow, the brown. So you can go with your knife and just like get a little piece of the delicata, and if it cuts through fully, it's ready. You can cover this one briefly, and it will steam, and you'll finish it up also as well. So this is ready. So now you can serve it. So my tortillas, I'm just warming them in a pan here. They're already nice and soft. So what I usually serve is grab my plate, get your I like to actually serve them with the tortillas folded on the side. And so this actually, this is kind of, you can just grab them like this, put them like this. You can serve it on the side, or go ahead and put some of the salsa either on the side or a little bit on top. Just provide the nice juices from. Lots of protein from the tofu and all the flavor and a lot of the nutrients from all the other stuff.
Is tofu better to get organic?
It's always better, yes. Actually, and a lot of the tofus now are organic, and that's a good thing about it. Most of them are organic, but yes, if you find organic, use it. If not, at least make sure that it's it's GMO free, because that way you know that the seeds that they use do not use the pesticides that are used in the regular stores.
Okay, and there's also something is dry. Do you get the same benefits from dried cilantro as you would in fresh cilantro?
That might, you shouldn't really worry about whether the dry or the fresh. There is a little bit more in the fresh ones, but actually depends on the type of herb. For example, marjoram and thyme have more nutrients in their dried forms than in their fresh forms. I'm not exactly sure about whether cilantro has more in their fresh. Probably. I do not use dry cilantro much, I have to say, because I like that really perfume scent that it has, and the dry form doesn't have it as much. But if you have it, by all means use it. And I'm not saying no. And I like it in soups and stuff because it'll kind of like hydrate it really fast. But I prefer the cilantro because it's one that you can easily find. So I wouldn't worry much about nutrient differential between dry and fresh. Just use them both and mix it up, like almost everything I suggest.
We're all set.
Okay.
All right. Great. Bye, everyone. I'll see you next week. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good week. Stay.